Hey guys, welcome back to ItsRJTV. Today I'd like to talk to you about my golf bag. Really quick, I'm wondering how your day's going. I hope it's going much better than mine. Just want to tell you, I got my son a brand new PlayStation 4 controller from Amazon 2 days ago. Finally came in the mail today. I had it for 15 minutes and my dog jumped up on the counter, not only chewed the Amazon box, but chewed through the retail box and destroyed the controller. So that's the kind of day I'm having. Anyway, I hope your day's going much better. I want to go through my bag really quick. My bag is not your bag, it's my bag, and you may like my bag, you may not like my bag, but I'm going to explain to you why it's my bag, and you could let me know in the comments if you agree with certain things, if you disagree with certain things. A lot of demand for these videos, so I want to meet that demand, and let's get started. As you can see, my bag contains the Extra Mile, the Guardian, the Goliath, the Thorn, the Skewer, the Razor, the Malibu, and of course beginner putter. I hope they upgrade that. Let's go through these really quick. The reason I use the Extra Mile is plain and simple. Here, I'll even go to the big topper. It's power. Power is king when it comes to a driver, and the quarterback and the rocket do not have the power that it takes. Even the big topper, showing 205 and showing that it could be upgraded much further from there with that 100 top spin, is not one that I'm looking for. Zero accuracy scares the daylights out of me. That ball guide's really short. But even more important than both of those, you may have 100 top spin, but if the ball's gonna land either in a sand trap or in the rough, that's really gonna affect the distance that you can hit it. So, and even when someone hits a perfect shot with a big topper and I hit a perfect shot with the Extra Mile, my ball seems to end up a decent amount further away from them. So when it comes to a driver, again, power is king, and that's why I have the Extra Mile. Moving along, I just switched over to the Guardian. I'm actually still learning how to use it. However, I used to use the Viper. If we compare these two, you're going to see it looks like the Viper is better in almost every way, and it probably is because it's level 8. But the statistics, the abilities of the Guardian, once it's been upgraded more, far exceed the Viper, and that is exactly why I'm getting started on it now. I know I could use the other one a little bit longer, the Viper a little bit longer. I also used the Big Dog for a while, but there's really important thing about your woods. Same thing goes with your long irons. They're used in shootouts. You need accuracy because you need to either get those hole-in-ones or as close to a hole-in-one as you can, at least closer than the other person does. So I am giving up a little bit of power, no big deal, 4 yards. Accuracy is about equal, but on both of these, my club, the Guardian, has more potential to go even further. Top spin, I really don't use that much top spin on a wood when I'm doing a shootout. It would be nice to have it when I'm shooting on the actual course, a full game, but to me, it's not 100% necessary. It's not as vital as it is to have it in the shootout. The backspin is something that's pretty important because I don't like my ball rolling across the green at the hills and different things that are on the green, or I should say the bumps and things like that could really affect where your ball ends up. I like using as much backspin as I could be comfortable with to shorten that up, to shorten up how far it glides across. It just makes for a more accurate shot in my opinion. And then curl, at this point 20 to 51, yeah, the curl's better on the Viper, but the upgradability of the Guardian's going to have the curl just as good. And then the ball guide, same thing. I don't have quite as good as a ball guide of the Viper, but again, when I get used to the Guardian, it's going to get easier. And then on top of that, once I get more cards to upgrade it, I'll be in there. So this is why I'm using the Guardian. And as you can see with the Big Dog, I am giving up power and top spin, but the ball guide isn't that great. The curl, I'm going to miss the curl of the Big Dog. But again, when it comes to a shootout, I really don't use curl, at least at this point. Tour 5 is the highest tour that I've gone to at this point. And so I'm basically talking to you beginners, and not just beginners, but people who are just looking to improve and get input on which clubs to use. So that is why I'm using the Guardian. I've fallen in love with the Goliath. At first I didn't like it so much, but I used to use the backbone. As you can see with the long iron, I got a lot more power in the Goliath, and it is a long iron, so power is important, especially again in the shootouts. I believe that this is a more accurate club. Iron is more accurate than a wood in the game. So if I have enough power on my Goliath, maybe I can use my Goliath instead of my wood. That's one thing that I like about it. Another thing I really like about it, is the top spin. Not necessarily for the shootouts, but when I'm actually shooting on the course, that's nice to have. It's got a great amount of backspin, a little bit less than the backbone. However, they're close, 51 and 47, and then I got a nice curl, and the curl can be upgraded even further. Both have 2.9 on the ball guide. The Goliath has more potential than the backbone, and now that I'm used to the Goliath, to me it just feels more accurate. It might be all in my head, but I love playing with the Goliath despite what the statistics say. So, going on from there, we have the Thorn. I used to use the runner. The reason I'm telling you what I used to use is because these are pretty decent clubs that you're going to be getting a lot of when you first start playing. It's okay to upgrade these a little bit, and then once you start getting better clubs, instead of upgrading the runner, as you can see, once it got to 4, I stopped. I'm still getting cards for it, but I'm not using it. So the Thorn has a decent amount of power, great accuracy, well, pretty good accuracy. Doesn't have much top spin, but it's a short iron. I don't want top spin necessarily on the short iron. I mean, if you're going to give it to me, yeah, I'll take it. However, I'm going to be using the backspin a lot more than I'm going to be using the top spin. However, be careful with this club. They give you a little bit too much backspin. It'll bounce once or twice if you set it beyond, what is it, like 3 bars down. If you go down to the 4th bar, and you'll notice it'll actually bounce backwards and come back in the direction you just hit it from. So, that's, some people like that. I've played against people that go ahead and set it all the way back, but I've never seen anyone sink a chip shot with one of these with the backspin all the way up. You got to be careful with the backspin on the Thorn, but once you know where it's at, it's a great club to use. Curl, it's a short iron. Don't really see much purpose for a curl, maybe in the later tours, but at this particular time it's unneeded. And ball guide is extremely important for the shorter clubs, and a 3.1 is an excellent ball guide. So these are the reasons I love the Thorn over the runner. Moving along, my favorite club in my entire bag is by far the Skewer. I upgraded from the Dart, and stat-wise, we could look at these stats, and I encourage you to look at stats to make your decision, but there's just something about the Skewer. Again, I don't know if it's in my head, I don't know what it is, but getting chip shots with this is so easy. I probably get about 75% of my chip shots, it feels like, with the Skewer. Sure, it has a little bit less power. Sure, the accuracy is about the same as the Dart. It has good top spin, good backspin. I don't use either. I know I just said earlier that I love using backspin when I'm taking short shots because I don't like to glide across the green. For whatever reason, the opposite is true with the Skewer. I know exactly where the ball's going to end up. The ball guide's at 3.0, which is pretty darn good. I believe 4.0 would be the top, but it's just an amazing club. It's extremely accurate for me. I don't think they could make a better club for me, even as I unlock other ones. I love when I have a short shot to make with my wedge, and I see the Skewer. I feel like I'm almost guaranteed to get a chip in. The Razor, this is 1, 2, and 3. This would be my second favorite club. I used to use the Machete, another club that you get early on in playing this game, and really, I believe that it's the accuracy in the ball guide that really helped me out with this club. Now, the power is only not even quite halfway full, but the power goes to nearly completely full. If you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the recording or not. So as I upgrade this club, I'm going to get a lot more power. I'm also going to gain some top spin and back spin, but I really haven't even needed to use it that much. However, with the rough iron and the sand wedge, it's always good to have definitely some topspin, because you don't know where you're going to land in the rough at. You may land in the rough right off of the tee. And in that case, you're not going to have enough power, no matter how powerful your rough iron is or your sand wedge is. You're not going to be able to get it onto the green. But you're going to want to be able to hit it as far as you can, so you possibly can in the next shot. I think it's silly to pull back all the way on these clubs to get yourself out, unless pulling back all the way is going to get you on the green, which basically means you need an extra 3, 4, or 5 yards. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's all about accuracy with these shorter clubs, and not much more can be said. 3.1 ball guide. I never use a curl on these shorter ones. So on to the last one, the Malibu, a club I've been using for a little while now, also insanely accurate. I love using this club. Again, it feels like I can chip in. I have the best percentage to chip in from the sand than I do with any other club. I used to use the Desert Storm, and here's some comparisons. Not only do I get more power at this point, and power is extremely important because, again, you could land in a sand wedge right off the tee. You're not always going to land in, on the fairway. It's not always going to happen. So, the power is important there, as it'll set you up for your next shot a lot easier. And sometimes you will land into a sand trap, or, on the rough. And for your rough iron, you might just have just enough power to get on the green, so you can go ahead and putt the ball in the next time. So these are some things that could be important to you. One thing that's insane, this has the highest ball guide that I have in my bag, 3.5, so I know exactly where it's going. The only thing that kind of stinks with all sand wedges, that I know of anyway, is that meter moves really fast. So if you're able to time it and get a perfect shot out of it, you should be able to chip in your sand shots. However, that's not necessarily always the case. But this is my bag. I wanted to share it with you guys. Again, for beginners and intermediates like myself who, may be looking for answers to some questions on certain golf clubs, I hope this helped you out. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree. If this video helped you out in any way, please give me a thumbs up. I've put out 2 videos of these before. They've both received well over 1,000 views. So I feel like there's a demand for these types of videos, and I'm going to keep trying to fill that demand until the demand is no longer there. If there's anything that I haven't touched on one of my 3 Golf Clash videos, please let me know, and it'll be an idea for the next video. I'm constantly thinking of videos to upload for this. And I also play some other games. So, what are the other mobile games that you guys play that you'd like some tips and tricks on? Leave that in the comments below as well. Thank you, all of you guys who have subscribed over the past 28 days. It's amazing seeing my subscriber count jump the way it has been. It's amazing seeing the views I'm getting on these videos. I am truly humbled. I am not professing to be any type of professional at this game. I know there's people out there that are much better than me. I just happen to know enough to be good enough. For example, let me show you here, to win 6 out of 10 games. My winning percentage is 60%. That's pretty darn good. I've played well over 500 games. So when it comes to, look how many eagles and birdies I have, and you got to take into account, sometimes you don't even get to take your final shot because maybe you went out of bounds, or, something might have happened. Maybe someone quit, they forfeited. Because I feel like I should have a lot more birdies and eagles than I actually do, because I hardly ever get par. If I get par, I had a horrible game. So I'm not trying to brag, but I am saying that I am good enough to give advice to beginners and novices, people who are looking for advice, and that's what this video is aimed at. Also, if you've ever played against me, this is the picture that I use. I only have 1 golf account. My name is Roy. This is ItsRJTV. I also go by RJ. Let me know if we've ever played in a game. Did you beat me? If you did, it would be awesome if you would record it or let me know. Tell me. Again, leave a thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you, subscribers. Have a wonderful day. Take care.